doesn't blow all the time.
You have to have the PTC. You have to have the production tax credit. But when, say, for 200,000 megawatts,
yeah,
okay, that's going to release the natural gas out of there.
Yeah.
200,000 megawatts, the PTC for that would be about $15 billion a year.
That's not bad.
No.
Not compared to 700
No,
billion.
and when you put in the grid that the government did on their study, the DOE study of April of '07, released two months ago, in that the grid cost $70 billion. Another nothing number compared to $700 billion. $700 billion is so overwhelming that...
That's a year, too.
That's a year, that's right.
This is like permanent.
Yeah, and think about it this way, too. When that oil hits our shore, it goes to refineries, and then it goes to your car and my car. In 90 days, it's gone. It's used. And our money is someplace else. We need to have that internal here. We don't want to be passing that out around the world. Right. See, I'm convinced on the $700 billion that it goes to a few friends and some enemies, too. We're paying for both sides of this war by buying oil. I'm convinced of that. I know what I'm talking about. You're paying for both sides of the war.
That's a nice thought. All right, Boone is one of our guest hosts this morning, the Texas oil man, CEO of BP Capital. And as we've been talking, he's revealing his new plan right here on Squawk this morning. You'll see a lot about it. I saw a big ad in the Journal, and you've admitted over $10 million you're spending on out of your own pocket. You finally admitted that, remember?
I said that was the first
part.
Buy.
All right.
No, it'll be substantially more than $10 million.
And we've asked our second guest host to pony up the same amount, Byron Wien, Chief Investment Strategist at Pequot Capital. He's with us for the next 90 minutes, giving us his perspective on energy, the Fed, and the big market picture. You don't have to, unless you feel the need to do that.
Well, let me take the 90 minutes to think about it.
All right, think of it. If the 10 you're donating were in stock, will you have 10 a month from now, 2 months from now, more or less than you have now, in your view?
Well, I have more now than I had at the beginning of the year, and that's an achievement. But
it is.
I think by the end of the year I'll have more. I don't know what's going to happen over the next month because you're in a period now where the market is overshooting on the downside. But I do think we're in a bottoming area, at least in terms of potential rally. I think the market will do better later on in the summer. We may go back and test, but I think by the end of the year, the market will be performing more strongly than it is now.
Is there anything in the economy or fundamentally that is bottoming or improving to make you think that? Or
no, Joe, it looks like all hope is lost at a point.
The housing gets worse.
Housing gets worse,
Freddie.
More write-offs, financial institutions claim they haven't solved all their problems. They're still in trouble. The investment environment is filled with despair.
Yes.
That's where we are right now, and that's usually where we are at the bottom. But, things have not been as bad in the economy. Things are terrible in financial institutions, terrible in housing, but there are parts of the economy. The dollar's come down, so the export parts of the economy are doing well. Infrastructure is doing well. Farmers are doing very well. Energy is doing well. Oil service. Capital equipment for exports doing well. So
balance
there are pockets
are pretty good on corporations.
Going into this, earnings ex finance have not been a disaster.
What's your current? What do you believe the real multiple on the S&P is right now?
Probably 16.
That's not horrific.
No.
It's gone to 10 in the past.
It's gone to 7 in the past.
We've been around a long time.
Yeah. Boone and I remember 7. We remember 73.
That's right.
What could get us there?
What could get us to 7?
Earnings would have to disappear.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, we'd have to be in a depression. Look, people have been in denial about whether we've been in a recession or not. You've had people on this program who've said we're not in a recession, everything.
Right, we still do. We still have, but you just kind of said it, ex-financials.
No, but I think we are in a recession. I've thought since November we're in a recession.
Housing.
Not just housing. I mean, now you're seeing the unemployment rate go up, but it's only going up modestly. We don't have 8 or 9% unemployment rate. We have 5.5. Maybe it'll go to 6, but it's not the end of the world.
Byron.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, I was going to say, the most important thing that I haven't heard, maybe I missed it, was, you know, Boone and I lived through 73, 74, which was a very serious threat to the United States in terms of energy. And the government did something about it then. It worked for a while. Then it sort of dissipated. But the government could play an important role. One of the things that hasn't happened here is that the government has not been responsive to this crisis. It's believed that market forces would take care of it. But market forces aren't taking care of it. So that, you know, you need a program that encourages the kinds of things Boone is talking about. Because Boone, if we did all the things you're talking about, how long would it take to get to the 38%?
You've got to do it. Brian, you're under such pressure for the $700 billion.
Yeah.
So it isn't like, you know, we've projected a number.
Yeah.
We're in the number.
Right.
And it's just killing us. And so I think you could, if you've got to have leadership. Mm-hmm. Okay, give me leadership, and then, you know, I think you can do it in less than 10 years.
Yeah. 10 years was going to be my number.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you got to scramble to do it.
Right. And you cannot do it in 10 years unless you have a profound government support of this program.
But what you can do with the import number, we see it every month. We see it every week. See it on Wednesday on oil. Mm-hmm. Okay. We should report that to the consumer in this country and show them how well we're doing as we start to bring down that import number. But it's a weekly report card for you. And I think that's important. When you screw down, put the pressure on, and then you can show results, everybody would get into the act then, and that would be good.
So do you believe we should have a kind of Manhattan Project?
Yes.
Where we put everything behind this?
Yeah, everything goes.
This is the top national priority, isn't it?
Yes, it is. See, I think it's a #1 issue in this presidential campaign, and neither one of these candidates seem to really be into it.
Right. And neither of them have reached out to you? I mean, you make more sense on this than anybody else. Has either candidate reached out to you?
I've heard from some of the people supporting both candidates, and I've said I don't want to. This is what I'd like to have if there's a meeting, is that I would sit down with both candidates. Mm-hmm. There'd be the three of us.
Right.
Because it's so nonpartisan.
Hillary's going to want to be there too. But go ahead. Yeah. Hillary's going to want to be there as well. But no, go ahead.
Who? No, but it would be the three of us would sit down and discuss it because it's nonpartisan. It would be like we were getting ready to go to war, and I knew a lot about the war.
Yeah.
And they say, bring him in and let's talk about it. And you're not talking about politics then, you're talking about...
Right.
And this is like a war as far as I'm concerned.
This is national survival here. Because one of the points that's key in your presentation is you use up that oil in 90 days, but the $700 billion is out there forever.
And it's gone.
Yeah, well, it isn't gone. It comes back, but it owns 42% of our Treasury securities. Right. They're going to buy these sovereign wealth funds. Are going to buy more and more of our companies. I mean, it's going to be that we're working in the United States, and all of the profits are going to be going overseas.
But it's gone from us. They come back and invest here, but those are assets they have. We never have those assets again. It's gone.
Byron, the dollar. What do you attribute the declining dollar? And there are people like Warren Buffett that say it's a secular decline. It's not going to end anytime soon. Is it the trade imbalance? Is it the budget deficit? Do you believe it's
three things, Joe.
Yeah.
First, we're running about a $500 billion, probably more than that, budget deficit. Second, we're running a $700 billion trade deficit. That's $1.2 trillion. Third, we have virtually a zero savings rate in this country. So that means we're